It looks like a scene from a war movie, but this is the border of western North Carolina and Tennessee, a massive debris field where multiple homes were swept away down the river for miles, or smashed to pieces here. An excavator sifts through the rubble, searching for bodies and body parts. Among the chaos stands a man named Danny Wolf. He is not only a volunteer, but a search and rescue technician.
We've been running hot tents to everyone to keep them warm, and the weather you can see here is snowing. It's really damn cold, so we're trying to keep everyone warm.
He has led and organized many searches for missing people in the surrounding areas.
But today we're actually doing a search and recovery up in Tennessee. You can hear the excavators behind me. We've been running dogs, trying to see if we can find a person we're looking for to help their family get closure. I don't want to get too specific to get any more people coming out here. We've had a lot of looky-loos. We've had a lot of self-deployed, quote-unquote, SAR teams coming out here that are not really doing a search. They're just taking pictures and then raising money for themselves. A lot of cadaver dogs that don't have the proper credentials have been out here. The problem is that not only does that waste our time, but it gets the family's hopes up. It gets the county and emergency management don't want that out here anymore, so we're trying to keep it more organized. We're working directly with the family out here, and a lot of these folks just show up and do their own thing, and when they bring dogs out here that don't have the proper certs, it's a liability, both in criminal and civil matters. So
in this very debris pile, cadaver dogs have gotten hits.
Behind me is an excavator, and there's volunteers here looking for a missing woman. This area that I'm at right now is full of debris. A bunch of homes came from miles and miles down the river. I mean, this is basically a grave site. I saw a kid's toy mixed in with the rubble. You see all sorts of like roofs of houses. It's basically a bunch of houses smashed together that came from miles down the river. God knows how many people could be, mixed in here. So it's very, very sad.
One thing that a lot of us have been talking about is we want a national registry for cadaver dogs where you can look up the certs for every handler and try to push for some kind of standardization for licensing. And you got SAR, NAPWADA, American Working Dog Association, all these different certifications you can have. A lot of them, if they haven't deployed with an agency before and they're just coming out here on their own, we don't know what the quality of these dogs or the handlers is. So that's one thing that we're trying to get going as an initiative for national standardization on cadaver dogs. So we don't have anyone out here scamming families saying that they have a cadaver dog, raising a big GoFundMe off of someone else's heartache, and then coming out here wasting our damn time out here with a dog that isn't even a cadaver dog. You can see Lambros here, he's actually got his HRDs on site, clearing this area out here on these debris piles, see if we have any indications of human remains out here.
Have there been in this specific debris field?
There have. So we've come out here to excavate in areas where those dogs have hit, quality dogs at least, and we're just racing against the weather. We probably have maybe 2 weeks left that we can really be out here, and then after that we'll have to pause until spring, and at that point it becomes a very different type of search. It's going to be more of random people discovering remains at that point. There'll only be bones left, and it'll be whatever gets flushed out in the spring when the water raises up. So we're just trying to get as much done as we can in the daylight in the next 2 weeks before it gets too cold and before we get a few feet of snow buried in the ground. And the dogs are out here in the cold all day too.
We climb into the back of the truck and drive to a section of the river where Danny and his team conduct aerial reconnaissance to survey the area. As we drive, massive piles of debris line the sides of the river, a stark reminder of the devastation. Many of the bridges here collapsed, and a local man named Bob has helped build a few of them up by using a flatbed trailer.
So Bob built this?
Yeah, it's Bob's bridge. Go to the right. He built both the bridges, this one and the skinny one over to Bob's Island. You'll be fine. The propane truck made it.
Danny took this video of a propane truck crossing the river.
Holy shit, look at all that.
You'll be fine. As long as you got one of the duties on each side, you'll be good.
Think we're gonna make it?
Work left, get my tire up. you're good.
Yeah. More to the left.
You have to have some faith.
It's still hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that these areas have been geographically altered forever.
They're doing aerial reconnaissance of the river to see where they can safely navigate down because the whole topography of the river's changed because of the flood. Only ways sometimes that you can ferry the dog handlers down the river is in a raft. You can't get a john boat in this water, it's too shallow.
Danny and his team have been using rafts to search for missing people.
So you're gonna go from here that way. Just check out what you got downriver. And the whole topography of this river has changed since the flood. No one's been able to chart it yet. Go down the river, we want to make sure we know where we can navigate around safely without hitting a rock or railroad ties. So you get to the Twisty Falls.
The flow of the water was so strong that it cut through the earth, even altering the course of the water itself.
Do you need a new one or?
Oh, yeah. This is it. It is pulled out of the trash. Right
What do you
after the
mean?
flood.
Where is it?
This is it. You
That's
inflate it.
the. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a commercial whitewater raft.
So you guys need a new raft then.
Yeah, shouldn't be doing this with it, but
Yeah.
make do with what you got.
If you look at the bank, right,
Yep.
see how the water literally just punched right through the bridge with whatever debris it could carry. So it lodged all that shit there, but that means everything down there was just like a tube wave again coming through. So basically, I would guess that debris pile on the right side, river right's going to be in this area. It's going to be full of shit,
Oh yeah.
definitely. And I think,
And then every bend you're gonna have to alternate.
yeah. Just looking at it though, it's the water was definitely moving hard enough to completely carve out that side, so nothing would stick there, right?
And all the piles are on the inner banks.
Yep.
I'm just
Nothing's
wondering
sticking
how
there,
much
just blasting
you're gonna
off.
have to walk that raft down the river.
That's not a problem. That's what we do.
But it's not as bad as the Nolichucky. It's a
No. it's
lot
not.
less movement and current out here.
Yeah, and it's not as wide. Which I mean, it's wider now than it used to be. Like
I think we can push down it faster than the Nolichucky.
definitely, because the wind's also aren't as bad.
I just want to make sure everyone's gonna be good getting in the water to walk the raft over rocks.
Yeah, well, that's why we've got the gear for it for the most part. But
Yeah.
considering what we were working with versus what we have now, gear-wise, stuff like that, I'm just trying to plan everything very good. Not to mention we've got road access through most of this. It looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So as far as an evac point goes, pretty much anywhere.
Oh, Kazovac, I got all planned out already.
Awesome.
And that'll be a lot easier here than it was over there. The logistics on Nolichucky was,
That's a nightmare. Well, plus we were dealing with CSX and all that too.
Yeah.
Here's going to work a lot
What?
better. I think we'll get a lot more done.
I just wanted you and Rain to lay eyes on it so you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. How far down did he say he was able to go? I think last time was 1,000 meters.
Transmission range on that thing, yeah. And you got about 2.5 miles of river down that way till you hit the lake.
Yeah. Well, once we get to the mouth of the lake, that's going to be.
You can't go any further than the stew pot.
Yeah.
Because once you get that log jam, that's the end.
Yeah, that's the end. And I'm still thinking that's where our most likely chance of finding some people are. Like just as we're driving in, just looking at it. If they didn't get caught up, then that's where they ended up.
You got hits where?
Right in that probably 3-acre debris pile right there. Spent about a week excavating it, begging and borrowing excavators. That is just beautiful. They shimmed it with pallets. So I've got a swift water rescue team out here from Jonesboro, Tennessee that's playing taxi for our canine handlers. They're using a raft they found in the trash because all their gear got flooded out on the first day. So they had to salvage what they could out of the trash, and they have a commercial whitewater raft they're using right now that they literally pulled out of the trash that we've been using.
And you guys have a GoFundMe, right, for that, or for?
We do. We originally used that GoFundMe for generators in the first couple weeks for folks down in Fairview, Bat Cave area when we didn't have any power. And we also used that for hot tents. But we definitely could use a new raft. So there are some things that we need equipment-wise, at least for safety. You know, I'm sending these guys down the river in freezing temperatures with gear that's been salvaged out of the trash or whatever we get donated from the fire department. Half of our gear is from Spruce Pine Fire and the other half is from Somerset County, Pennsylvania Fire. It's just whatever we can beg and borrow.
And in this area, there was like houses that came from miles away.
Oh yeah. 10, 15, 20 miles away.
Wow. So the water was that powerful that it just
As you get down this river where it feeds into the lake, there's an area we call the stew pot. It's like a log jam, and it's just solid houses and logs all the way down to the bottom of the river, all the way across. You can't even see the water, and you can't even really search that effectively. It's just compressed all the way down. You can't get a diver in it. You can't get a boat in it.
There's people that will never be found.
They'll never be found, or they'll wash up on the banks, you know, 5 years from now. Something that people in the media haven't really touched on just because they don't know. It's not just about bringing them closure, but if you don't make a recovery, they're stuck in probate court for 3 years. They can't get a life insurance payout. So there's a lot more to it than just trying to bring their family member home and get them closure. And they can't move forward financially or any other way until they can get a death certificate.
I brought up the topic of FEMA, and I asked Danny for his perspective.
I mean, I don't really want to get like political, try to focus on the mission. I think there are folks at FEMA that genuinely want to do good things and help people. I think the way that the organization's been managing funds and trying to go about doing their relief efforts out here is definitely less than outstanding. There's been plenty of areas we've been to where FEMA has not been there yet to survey damage. I've run into all kinds of folks that have had claims denied. Not many people have a good opinion of FEMA out here, and I think that the local population would be the best to speak on that than myself. You know, I'm an outsider here as a volunteer. I think that they should probably speak on more, but I haven't seen them out anywhere other than when I saw them in the EOC. I haven't run into them out here in the wild, you know, in the community. No one out here seems to have a very high opinion of them. I have heard rumors that they're afraid to come out here and assess damage and help people because they've, you know, received threats, but everyone out here are some of the nicest people you run into, so I think that's just an excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen these people out here, like they're country, but they'll bring you into their house, give you sweet tea, make sure you're fed. So the fact that FEMA's saying they're afraid for their own safety is just ridiculous. No one out here is gonna hurt anyone at FEMA. We would love to have them out here actually doing something, actually helping the people.
And you came far away to volunteer. What made you
far.
come out here?
I saw the damage the first day, how bad it was, and I've done this before, not in the mountains. You know, I'm used to doing it in Florida, right in the Gulf Coast. We're used to that. It's every summer. So I had experience and the ability. I just figured, you know, if you have the ability to do it and you don't, that's on you. I had the time and I had vacation days saved up, you know. So a lot of people have things going on in their lives, marriage, work, I can understand that. But if you have the capability to be out here helping these people and you don't, I just don't understand that. Because they would do it for us. So I think we owe them that.
Mountain people stick together.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of mountain people, Wyoming. But yeah, we're all together on this out here. And the next time something happens in my backyard, they would be down there doing the same thing for me and my family and my community. I know they would. I don't know if FEMA would, you know. Hopefully they'll figure out how to do a better job moving forward. I'd rather work with them to help people than against them.
Despite the tragic circumstances, I felt welcomed by Danny and his team. I could tell at first they were a bit wary about me, but I reassured them I am not mainstream media. I'm not your typical journalist. I understand where they're coming from. In fact, I've developed a growing mistrust of mainstream media after witnessing the situation in Western North Carolina. The lack of coverage and the inaccuracy of the death toll seemed to downplay the severity of this tragedy, left me deeply frustrated. This became a catalyst for my drive to uncover the truth and to share with the world a different perspective that they're not getting on the big screen TV, a more raw, unfiltered side of the story, coming from the people who are boots on the ground in the Appalachian Mountains.
I mean, look at this debris field. It is just a jumbled mess of logs, mud, houses. I mean, look at this. What an eerie sight to see this chair just right here. Look, there's a rug, people's clothing, this random chair, a photo album, I don't see any pictures of anyone, but gosh, look at this. It just goes on and on and on. on and on. This is something out of a horror movie. You can see that they already had an excavator go in here and dig around. So this right here used to be a gas station. Look at the river. I mean, this river flooded real bad. Oh gosh. Yeah, the water was really high in here. That's just so sad. They got Wonder Bread rotting over here. Protein, milk. Gosh, just bad. Jeez, the water really was up in here.
Seeing places abandoned like this is deeply unsettling. It makes me think about how vulnerable they are to looting, especially when access is as easy as simply walking in to some of these places.
They had like a little restaurant situation down here with the booths, all rotting bread. Golly. Yeah, it's just crazy. These are scenes of an apocalypse. The saddest thing is this picture right here. I wonder who that is. Maybe one of the workers, one of their kids or something.